Hello everyone, welcome along again to the channel. It's WolvesDB here with another video on the channel, and this is a live stream of a live watch-along reaction of me watching the last day of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. I won't be showing the games themselves, but I'll be reacting to them. Feel free to subscribe to me. Comment down below once the video's ended if YouTube allows comments. I will comment in the live chat during the video, but don't spam the comments because if you do, I will just delete them. To turn on your notifications, setting them to all so that you never miss a video on my channel. And also, so at the moment, BBC One have opened up their coverage of the games. They've just started with a sort of montage of what's happened in the game so far, the highlights of it, particularly focusing from a UK point of view. Talking of a UK point of view, we look at the medals table. We've got 63 medals with 20 gold, 21 silver, and finally 22 bronze medals. And I've already got 2 likes on the video, so thank you for whoever liked it. I'll be honest, apart from me, because I've already liked my own video. Why wouldn't I? So today, you usually have relays. So there's a men's marathon, track cycling, basketball, boxing, there's beach volleyball, water polo, handball, and then the closing ceremony at 12 o'clock UK British time. Although I won't be, I think. I've got to go to bed at some point because I'm at work tomorrow. Oh, there's someone watching. Hello. Feel free to comment in the chat where you're watching it from. And so I am going to create a poll. Will Laura Kenny win gold in the track cycling later today? And it was a very simple yes or no question. I think that's gone into the community posts. Maybe not. At the moment, the BBC are showing coverage that I can only assume it can't be live. It doesn't look as though it's live. They're showing, I think it's called the pentathlon, where you do shooting, some running, and by the looks of it, some more shooting and some more running. So the Laura Kenny poll. Not actually sure how you vote. It doesn't appear. Told me to ask a question. It didn't tell me I had to, but gave me the option to. doesn't appear to have then made it easy for you to actually vote on the poll. Well, on one of them, I'll be honest. So if you're the other one, you can feel free to comment in the chat what you think will happen today. For some reason, the BBC One coverage is now showing an interview of obviously Britain who won gold medal, which is good, but there's live men's marathon going on, which is the men's marathon starts at 11 o'clock. In fact, why don't I write the list down of what is actually happening? All times the UK time, because I'm just going to assume that most people watching are from the UK. Makes it look as though on the BBC website, but you know, BBC had to copy it from the original official website anyway, although they didn't copy it, they've given it more accurately. All I'm doing is repeating facts of what is actually happening. There we are. There's all the events today. So, as I said, we start off with the men's marathon at 11 o'clock p.m. As I said, all these events are in UK time. In that poll, no point in carrying on with it. Track cycling is at 2 o'clock a.m. and 2:25 a.m. Basketball women's final is USA versus Japan at 3:30 a.m. Boxing is at 6 o'clock a.m. There's also medals in beach volleyball, water polo, and handball. And the closing ceremony is later today at 12 o'clock p.m. noon. And forget I even did a poll. That's just useless. If you're watching though, you can still comment yes or no in the comments to that question, but we're not doing it as a poll. And as this is the last day of the games, I must say I've quite enjoyed it. But it's first of all, it's in the middle of the night, and I do think it's a bit of a shame that the situation in the world at the moment, I won't mention the C word, has led to the fact that nobody, not even anyone from Japan, can watch the games domestically in their own country. I did look at going to Japan before the situation came up, and it turned out to be relevant, but I couldn't go anyway. But I saw that it was £6,000 to go, and I decided against it because I think that's just a little bit too expensive. I'd also like to just quickly say about the fact that the camera will be shaking. That's inevitable. Unfortunately, I don't have any better setup than having the webcam as the camera to use, and the laptop is balanced on top of my knees so that you can see me, and so that I'm in close enough range for my voice to come loud across. Well, if I can speak, for my voice to come across loud and clear, and there's not really a table that I've got to put it on or anything to balance it. So it's it's been balanced. And every time I move my legs, the camera shakes because the camera's moving. Or not even if I move my legs, but if I move my hand or something like that. All of Radcliffe is in the BBC studios. Someone feel free to comment in the live chat. Hmm. Right, we're getting ready for the start of the men's marathon. It's 7 Saturday evening, or Saturday night now, really. It's coming up to 11 o'clock here. Conditions in Japan this year, at this time of the year, I meant, is usually quite hot in July and August. Um, they've had temperatures of 30 degrees, even quite early on in the morning. And they do have some big rainstorms in Japan, or they can do. So obviously not ideal for running. We'll be attempting to provide live commentary on the marathon as best as I can. Don't actually know anyone's names who are competing in it, or whether there's any British interest. I don't think anyone from Britain is going to win a medal in the marathon, to be honest. So the TV is going through the start list for the men's marathon, and it's going through it so quickly that I can't best and personal best. Oh, whoever was watching has gone off. I suppose isn't that good compared to actually watching the games, I agree. But you can watch the games and watch me at the same time. I'm working on the assumption that you are doing anyone watching this live stream is doing that anyway. So I won't be providing pictures of the games. Now, I must admit, I've never taken part or done a marathon. Closest I've got to doing anything like that is about a tenth of the distance of a marathon, 2.5 miles, which took me 20 minutes. They're measuring it in kilometers. For some miles to kilometers. I'm going to have to work this out. 26 miles is 41.84 kilometers. Yeah, a marathon in kilometers. I'm going to have to. Right, a marathon is 26.2 miles, to be more precise than just 26 miles. And that is 42, according to Google, 42.1949. The world record for the marathon for men is 2 hours, 1 minute, 39 seconds. And for women, it's 2 hours, 15 minutes, 25 seconds. According to live, I've just literally typed into Google Marathon in km. The average mile time for men is between 9 and 11 minutes. And for women, the average a mile is every 10 to 12 minutes. You just can just do some more research. So let's just call it 42,195 meters. 58 seconds set by Usain Bolt in 2009 for the men, and for the women, 10.49 seconds set all the way back in 1988 by Florence Griffin Joyner for the women. Now, that means we'll just call it a meter every 10 seconds. No, that's not right. Every 10 meters in a second, that's what I meant. I'd be able to win if it was a meter every 10 seconds. There we are. So, assuming that an athlete could run the marathon without ever getting tired and doing it at Usain Bolt's world record pace for the 100 meters, they'd run a marathon in 1 hour, 7 minutes, 37 seconds. And the actual time for the world record, so the pace of the marathon for the world record times of both the marathon and 100 meters is 54 minutes slower than it would be if you did the 100 meters continuously at world record pace of a marathon. So basically, the athletes lose 54 minutes because they get tired during the marathon, is what I'm saying. Press his buttons on the calculator, which is what all that clicking was. Right. So the world record for the marathon, that whoever set it was doing 100 meters still in 17.2 to if I was doing 100 meters, I'd probably be happy with that time just to do 100 meters. So that gives you a sense of how fast these marathon runners will be going. Essentially, they, to any normal person, they're still sprinting. Now, kilometers into the race, and I'm gonna have to keep using conversion rates on the internet to see how far they've got. We've done the first 1.7 miles. TV is showing the caption of how far they've all travelled in the lead group in kilometres, whereas most people in the UK measure a marathon in the unit length of miles. As to the weather conditions in see the sun um, showing lots of shade. It looks quite a cloudy and windy day in Japan. Meanwhile, BBC are now telling us that we can watch beach volleyball on the iPlayer and the red button. There's a lead group of loads of them, and then behind that is a sort of cluster of a smaller group. Doing a bit nicer now. Oh, reposition myself. Oh, reposition the camera a bit down. As I said, it's a bit of a shame that in Japan, because of the world situation at the moment, and particularly because of the situation, few clusters of spectators around the marathon course cheering them on, as obviously the marathon is on the road, and therefore, you know, the public do have access to view it, and they're running next to what looks like some sort of tramway. Um, we're now watching a replay of something. I think kicking one of the water bottles as it was left on the ground by an athlete behind. Various people from the public, where all of them wearing masks, and some of them taking pictures of their mobile phone. Right, this gets me. This does. Whenever you watch a live sport event on TV, and in particularly when you watch football, but teams coverage, they show what I call reaction replays. Pointless replays of reactions of people. I know that I'm doing a reaction live watch along, but I'm not pretending to provide coverage of the event itself. Whereas the BBC, or more specifically the World Feed Olympic feed, are. So why on earth with their phone of the athletes going past? I really don't know. I don't want to. I want to see the race itself. Anyway, it's not just in these games it happens. It happens all the time in professional football matches, especially when you're watching the Champions League matches. Right, the leaders are now. Oh, I think it's because of the world situation. Athlete, they've all got like their own individual countries to get their drinks bottled from, and by the looks of it, a packet of ice to cool down. And there's now a woman who's running alongside the athletes. She can barely keep up with them, despite the fact that she timings are on the screen, and it's a bit pointless um, trying to see who's winning or not, because they're all so closely bunched up together that it doesn't make any difference anyway at this stage. There is a lead group of. I'm waiting for it to appear on my TV screen. There isn't a British athlete in this, by the way. C. Hawkins. There's a lead group of about 50 competitors who are within 5 seconds of each other. So measuring a time gap to them is a bit pointless. After that, there's another group of about 30 athletes, which are all bunched up together as well. And they're within about 20 seconds of that lead group. So there's 80 athletes within 20 seconds of the leader. So it's a bit pointless it's, to say that someone's definitely going to win at the moment. Anyway, we've now done 5 kilometers. Now, for some reason, there's another replay. This is just that some of the athletes have took some water, drank some water, and poured some water over their head as you do when you run in a marathon. There was two people watching. You are free to comment in the live chat. You're free not to, of course, but it would be good if you did. Now, the TV coverage is now showing them going over a bridge. No idea what the name of the bridge is called, which is over some water. I could look it up, but I could have my TV commentary on a bit louder to hear what the commentators are actually saying to inform you of what they're doing. But um, they're over that and back on to the road past the bridge. Round a bend. It's good that they've gone the right way. I'd hate it to be that they somehow got the course wrong and the athletes ran like 50 miles instead of 26 miles, doing nearly double the distance. It's to see that some people in Japan have actually come out to watch the games. I know they've not been able to because of the situation in the world at the moment, but um, it is well known that Japanese people love watching sports, and it's, in my view, it's such a shame that they've had these games and they've not been able to watch them. Right, there's an ice station. I don't see any athletes stopping to do the ice bucket challenge, but some have picked up packets of ice and are rubbing it across the back of the neck. 7.5 kilometers gone now. I need to look that up in miles, so just forgive me whilst I do that. 4.6 miles. There's still a large group of leading athletes at the front, and the British guy is in amongst that. Right, the sun in Japan, in Tokyo, is now starting to come out, and you can see that everyone is creating a shadow which will. What the hell? They're just showing us a replay of two of the runners colliding with each other as they were going to a drink station. Right, as I was saying before that, the sun is now coming out in Tokyo, Japan. You can see everyone's creating a shadow, and that's, to say the least, and to make the obvious points, will mean it is going to become very hot for them. 30 degrees, I would have thought, which will basically mean they're sort of running a marathon whilst it will feel like they're inside an oven. Callum Hawkins is the name of the British guy. I know that because he's just come up on my TV screen as a caption. He's at the back of the lead group. That's a couple of supporters with the USA flag. Um, all international spectators for the games are banned from the games because of the world situation, but I guess there's obviously some people that have moved countries in their lifetime, so that probably explains that. And now they're again at a place where each individual country has got their own uh, drinks bottle station, so I guess that could avoid collisions, or at least you'd hope it would. Ah, right. One of the runners from Belgium, didn't quite catch his name, has put on a cap. Um, that is probably a good idea in this heat. It will, first of all, cool him down. There's a oh, well, someone's pulled up with an injury. As if you're wearing a cap, you obviously can't get the sun shining on the top of your head. And I would have thought that you wouldn't be able to get the sun in your eyes, because the sun's just rising at the moment in Japan, so it'd probably be in their eye line. Right, number 1868 has pulled up with an injury. That's the end of his marathon. My TV screen's frozen up. It's just a problem with the coverage, not my own individual TV. They've gone to a long distance shot now, so that's sorted that out. Well, Sora Kitata, Hopefully, I've pronounced that right. It's the guy that's pulled up with the injury. I mean, he can walk the rest of the marathon if he needs to finish it, but he's not going to win now. The lead group of athletes. Honestly think they should have mile markers as well with balloons, so that we know whenever they've done another mile. The athletes have now completed 10 kilometres in just over half an hour. Now, I don't think that's world record pace, but I will double check. No, it's way short of world record pace. They'd had to have completed um, the first 10 kilometres in 28 minutes and 45 seconds or thereabouts. And they were over 2 minutes over that. So they're nowhere near world record pace, but you know, a world record is 2 hours, 1 minute and something. So that'd be quite an impressive feat to get the world record with these weather conditions anyway today. So, I did say earlier what one of the runners had pulled up with an injury. I've got the BBC Sport website on as well to help me aid my commentary on this. And the BBC are saying that it appears that he's pulled up with cramp, which is quite early on to get that in a marathon. Now, another runner had pulled up, but has now decided to carry on. But I think once you've started to pull up, it's going to be very difficult to do anything after that, especially to catch up the leading group. Okay, this time he's pulled up again. Surely he's not going to continue. Oh, he is. It's like me when I do my fun runs. I'll sort of stop and half walk it, and then find some energy from somewhere because you're in a race to carry on. But a difference is I'm not competing in an Olympic Games, and I'm not doing a marathon either. I'm doing a 2.5 mile fun run whenever I do any events. There's another athlete walking. Number 3713, Stephen Kiprotic. Hopefully, I've pronounced that correctly. He's got going again now. Once you stop in these type of marathons, you've had it. He's jogs a bit, but now he's walking again. So that's three of them that have at least had problems now. Of course, when I walk and then start running again, I'm only doing 2.5 miles. It's not actually that much for me to do. But a marathon, and they've only done 12 kilometres so far. Um, they've got no chance of completing it. As I said, 12 kilometres. They've done 7.4 miles. Callum Hawkins for Great Britain has now just very slightly dropped off the lead group, though you can still see them. So it's not as if he's miles behind. Right, there are three British athletes in this marathon. According to the BBC website, Ben Collar and Chris Thompson. There's another runner who's not running, he's walking. There's, so there's four of them now that have gone out. I can't remember that happening with that many athletes so early on in a professional marathon before. Oh, Juhan is his name. Now he's running again. Oh, he's only running to the water. There's very little point in him carrying on. Right. In what seems like no time at all, they've now gone up to 15 kilometres completed, which those of us that measure marathons in miles, it's 9.3 miles. And they've done that in 46 minutes, 3 seconds, or at least the leader has. And again, that's not anywhere near world record pace. So I don't think they're going to get a world record in this marathon. In fact, I'm going to definitely say they're not going to. There's 43 athletes within 5 seconds of the leader at the 15-kilometre mark. So that clearly demonstrates that it's a bit too early to say who's going to win or to talk about the leaders really in general, because one of the athletes looks like he's limped to the side of the road and he's in everyone's way now. Now, there's someone who is biting their shirt, as you do. This is what I mean when they're showing someone like shaking their lips as is a normal thing to happen when you're running. But why we need to see that in a slow motion, close up reaction replay, as I call it, I really don't know. I'd rather just watch the marathon, and if anything actually interesting happens, then show a replay of that if we've missed it live. But goodness me, they do like to go over the top of with these replays. Okay, BBC website predicts that we're looking at 2 hours 9 minutes marathon time, which is 8 minutes off the world record. As I said earlier, they're not going to get the world record today because the conditions aren't really able to manage that. So, I'm making the decision now. As soon as the marathon is finished, I'm ending the live stream. As I said, I've got to go to bed at some point. Might as well be then. Hopefully, those watching this live stream will enjoy the rest of this live stream and then the rest of the day's coverage on the television. It's the last day today. What a shame. Right, still a large group of leaders at the front of the pack, obviously. Where else would the leaders be? There must be at least still 40 athletes in the leading group. Um, and most, no, not most, but a lot more of the athletes are running with caps on their head now. Oh, I've now done 20 kilometres in just over an hour, which is 12.4 miles. So they're actually coming up towards halfway distance now. We double the time taken. BBC website predicted a time of about 2 hours 9 minutes. Doesn't look too far out. And there another runner has pulled up. Sishi Lemma 1870. Well, they're just about halfway in the marathon, just over halfway. That's 5 athletes that have pulled up now. Right, I will admit this is not the best stream in the world, is it? But athletes have now done 26.7 kilometres. That's 16.5 miles. Right. I haven't been away, but hopefully I'll provide a bit more detailed commentary for the live stream watch along, if you're watching me. The lead group of what was over 40 athletes before has now become a much, much smaller lead group, and there must be about only 10 athletes in this lead group now. They've done 28.7 kilometers. I'll see how many's in the lead group. I think there is exactly either 10 or 11. Right. There's a lead group of, I believe, 11 athletes, and they have now done 28.8 kilometers exactly, according to the TV screen, which is 17.8 miles. So they're approaching two-thirds distance. No, they're over two-thirds distance, aren't they? They're just approaching it. My maths has gone completely, but they're over two-thirds distance of the marathon now. That I do know. So they've completed 1 hour, 29.2 kilometers in 1 hour 30 minutes. So they're about 10 minutes off the world record, I think. BBC predicted 2 hours 9 minutes earlier, which would be a good time for the marathon in these conditions. But I think it could be about it. Yeah, I think it'd be about 2 hours 11 minutes, possibly, round about that time. There's three athletes from Kenya in the lead group of 11, and I would have thought that whilst earlier on in the race I was saying that it was too early to talk about the leaders and who would win the gold medal and the silver and bronze medals. I would have now thought that the three medalists would come from this leading group of 11. So will Kenya provide a clean sweep of all the medal places? Gold, silver, and bronze. They're currently 1, 2, and 3 at the moment, although the 11th athlete is only 5 seconds behind. I'm beginning to think that this the 10th and 11th places are beginning to just drift away from the from the other 9. So looks as though we'll be down to single figures to decide who's going to get the medals. And now another athlete is pulled up. Ah, right. The lead group at the front, which was a group of 11, and there's some children trying to race against the athletes at the side of the track, I must say, well beyond the barriers. And they're being overtaken by the athletes, even though the athletes have already ran 30 kilometres. The lead group of 11 has now become a sort of breakaway single runner of one, with another group of 6 behind him. And the other 4 athletes in the original group of 11 are a little bit strung out now. The leading Japanese runner was in the group of 11, is being cheered on by his home fans, but he's he's one of the 4 that have dropped off the lead group now. And I think we're down to a lead group of 7, with one of the runners, Kipcharge, hopefully I've pronounced his name correctly, a little bit ahead of the other 6 in that group. Actually, I'm going to say there's now a single runner, although he's still in sight of the other 5, but there's now only 5 in the other group. Um, and then there's a runner trailing behind now. So from 11, we've now gone down to 6. pace of the marathon, whilst not a world record pace, has been picked up now, meaning that several of the athletes that were in the original large group are now well behind, and that even now, with in the last kilometres, while I've been commentating properly, we're now down to from 11 to 6. It's about 10 kilometres left, which is it's 6 and a bit miles. Done nearly 20 miles. Ah, they're doing laps of the course. I don't know if you can get laps in a marathon, but so they've just passed the finish line, although obviously they're parallel to the finish line rather than the actual finish line. So I did notice earlier on that there were markers saying how far they'd travelled, and there were various markers, more than one at the same stretch of road. So I'd probably get lapped if I was doing the marathon in this games. But I'm not competing in it, so if any of the professional athletes get lapped, then I'd be surprised because I think it's quite a long distance. It's about 6 miles a lap, isn't it? So right, Amos Capitro, they're showing him running. Um, I think he's in the lead group, but has he dropped off the lead group? No, he's in what the BBC are saying is Chase One, which is the gap is 14 seconds between him, the leader, and the Chase One group. And passing another drink station. This one is where they've got all their individual country flags, and they obviously take their water bottle from wherever their country podium is stationed. The Chase One group is a group of 4 athletes, and whilst the gaps are not as quickly updated as they are in motor racing, for example, because clearly the athletes are not going as fast as a motor car, it appears I would have thought to be closing. Well, I'll know for certain when they get to the 35-kilometre mark. Right, the leader has opened up a gap further than I've seen at any other distance in this race. So he's stretching his lead. Has he gone too early? He's now completed 33.8 kilometres. So exactly the 21 miles. No, the gap has been extended at the front. So the leader is now leading by 22 seconds, going slightly down to 21 seconds. I'd say there's at least a football pitch, probably two or three football pitches, actually. No, just one football pitch in the distance between them. Football pitch is quite large, so it's not it's not a massive gap, but certainly the biggest we've seen in the race so far. BBC are just the commentators are saying he's competed in 16 marathons and has won 8 of them, with 6 of them being runner-up. That's quite an impressive record. The race is now strung out. I don't think they're going to catch a lead athlete. Chasing group of 4, which has now become a chasing group of 3. Now, he's got to the 35-kilometre mark. The last 5 kilometres were done in 14 minutes 28 seconds. The gap between the leader and the second, third, and fourth place athletes, which is called Chase One on the TV, is now 27 seconds, so he's extending his lead. It looks like he's going. Kipchoge is going to win this marathon. It's still a long way to go yet, 7 kilometres and a bit, but he's it was 14 seconds, it went up to 22, it's now 27 seconds. So not only has he got a bigger gap, he's extending his gap. There's less than 5 miles to go, which is about 7 kilometres. It's 12 more minutes before the world record is up, so they're not going to set a world record today. The only thing that could possibly stop him now from winning this marathon, I think, is some sort of injury. Because I don't think the chasing group of four are going to catch him up on pace alone. Annoyingly, whilst the other athletes behind him in the marathon are going through the 35-kilometre mark, actually ran has disappeared. How far the leader has actually run has disappeared from my TV screen. So I've now got no idea of what's happening, of how far he's actually travelled. Again, going past a drink station with all their countries on it. Right, the distance they've run has come back on, and they have got to 37 kilometres, or the leader has right now, which is near as makes no difference, 23 miles. So there's 3.2 miles left of the marathon. The leading Japanese runner is in sixth place. You can see the group of four ahead of him, but Kipcharge is now 50 seconds ahead of the next four runners, and is extending his gap all the time. And then Oscar Oskao, if that's pronounced correctly, the Japanese runner, is in sixth place, just a further 15 seconds behind the four runners. So it looks like Kipchoge has won the gold medal, or he will win it, and the four runners behind him are battling for the silver and bronze position. Yeah, Kipchoge from Kenya is still leading the marathon. He's just been on the TV, and he's doesn't look tired. Well, he's obviously going to be tired, but he doesn't look uncomfortable at all. And I think he's going to win the marathon by a fairly comfortable distance in the end. He's now over a minute ahead of the chasing four, so he's still extending his lead, um, despite the fact that he's charged off and he hasn't gone too early by the looks of it. Looks like he's gone at the right time because I don't think they're going to catch him. So 38.4 kilometers is now the distance. Done 23.8 miles. Someone watching. Hello. I'm watching the men's marathon in the Olympic Games. Kipchoge from Kenya is leading, and he looks fairly comfortable for the gold medal. If you want to comment on the live chat, well, please do so. Or maybe not. Just to say, I'm not going to provide coverage of the games myself. That's what the BBC are doing in the UK. And various other TV stations around the world. So there's no need for me to provide coverage of the games. I'm just doing a live watch along reaction to me watching it. Ah, hmm, 39.2 kilometres now. I think there's about 3 kilometres left. Yeah, 42.195 kilometres. Normally, you finish an Olympic marathon in the Olympic Stadium, but this isn't going to be in the Olympic Stadium they finish it in. It's going to be in on the road course, basically. They've already passed parallel to the finish line. This time around, when they get there, it will be the actual finish line. The leading chase group of four are not in sight at all of the leader. We are now at the world record time in 30 seconds. Coming up to the 40-kilometre mark, so there's 2.1 kilometres left when he gets there. And we're at the world record time as Sapni now. And obviously, they've failed to get a world record. But you know what? I think it's still going to be a quick time, especially considering the conditions. Well, Kipchoge has done the last 5 kilometres in 14 minutes 56 seconds, which I'm just going to work that out. 14 times 60 plus 56. So he's done 896 seconds. Sorry about that. It took me ages to figure out what buttons to press on the calculator. So Kipchoge has just done the last 5 kilometres as though he was, well, doing 100 metres in 17.92 seconds, which isn't too bad, to say the very least. If it was me doing 100 metres, I'd be quite happy with a time of 17.92 seconds. Now, in the last 800 metres of the marathon, so just basically 2 more laps around an Athletics 400 metres track. The leading chase group of 4 are about 400 metres behind, so they've been laps on an athletics track, so there's no way they're going to come back and win this. Right, it's going to be a sprint finish for the silver and bronze medals. But Kipchoge is comfortably going to win. He's got just 200 metres left, and he's still, I guess, he's still stretching his lead. 2 hours and 8 minutes. That's quite an impressive time in these conditions. And he's got to the finish line to win the medal. 2 hours, 8 minutes, 38 seconds, it says on the TV screen, so I'll go with that. Let's see. Going on for the silver and bronze medal positions. It looks like Kenya are going to take gold and silver, but not the bronze, as I said, could happen earlier on in the race. There's about 200 metres left. And the silver medal is Right, the silver medal was Ain Agai, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, from the Netherlands, with plus 1 minute 20 seconds to the leader, and the bronze medal was B Abdai, hopefully again I've pronounced that right, from Belgium, with a time of plus 1 minute 22 seconds to the leader. So that concludes this live stream. I'm going to end it now. Hopefully you have enjoyed it, although I am aware it's not been the best ever live stream I've done. I think the cricket ones were probably a bit better, but nevertheless, notifications, setting them to all, and like the video. And if YouTube allows comments on this live stream video, please comment below, but don't spam the comments, otherwise I will just delete any spam comments. Just remains for me to say I'm WolvesDB, and thank you for watching the live stream and video. I'll see you soon. Bye.